Okay, I'm definitely gonna cry. I should have stitched this with Susie's pesto thing. So you guys on here might have heard the story about the girl and her dad in Amsterdam with the glory hole. Yeah. So I was 14 years old. I'm actually gonna cry. I was 14 years old and I was still living with my mum. I would go to my dad's house sporadically, maybe once every couple of months. There was one weekend when I went to my dad's and I can't remember what phone I had at the time, but whatever phone it was, I'd forgotten the charger. And I needed a charger because I needed to access my phone. I couldn't go 3 days without my phone. But my dad didn't have a charger that worked. And he didn't buy me a new charger. I don't know why he didn't buy me a new charger. And, you know, he was living with my stepmom. He still lives with my stepmom. Neither of them, for some reason, they didn't buy me a new charger. But I needed access to my phone. So my dad said I could put my SIM in his phone. I can't remember if I had a Nokia or a BlackBerry at this point and, like, what phone he had. But whatever phones we both had, my SIM fit into his phone. Now, you know, with text messages, because this was before WhatsApp days. This was in 2009, before WhatsApp was a thing. I'm actually crying. But the way it was with text messages, they could either be saved to your phone or your SIM or both. I can't fully remember. Anyway, though, when I put my SIM in his phone, all I know is mine and his texts were jumbled up. I could see my texts from people, but like the names weren't saved. So I had to work out, you know, who the text messages were from and save the numbers. But his text messages were also there. And I could see names because they were saved to his phone. Anyway, 14-year-old me, was nosy. I started reading his text messages. I don't know why. I just was being 14 nosy. There was a man in his phone who I will say was saved as George. And I'm reading the text messages between him and George. And based on these messages, at first I thought my dad was gay. And then I soon realised it was a woman. I'm not trying now to read the messages between them because I've figured out what these messages contain, but I'm trying to find out who this woman is. My dad has been married 3 times and he has cheated on every wife he's had. I feel bad for my stepmom that he is blatantly cheating on her, but at the same time, that's how she and my dad got together. He was cheating on my mum with this woman, so I felt a bit bad for her, but on the other hand, I was like, well, that's what you get. You knew what he was like. You literally started by him cheating. Now he's cheating on you. You weren't an exception. You should have never thought you were. Anyway, so I'm like scrolling up and I'm skimming these messages. I'm really trying not to read them because they weren't too explicit. It wasn't like crazy stuff. It's just things like, I can't wait to see you on webcam later. I love talking to you. You make me happy in a way no one else does. It's that kind of shit. It's nothing like too, you know. Until I kept scrolling up. I kept scrolling. And there was a picture of my dad's willy. I saw it. All of it. I was 14. I'm not sure I'd ever seen one of those before other than in a sex ed lesson. I threw the phone. When I say I threw it. I'm not even exaggerating. I threw it. And then I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to go home. Him and my stepmom were not in. I packed my bag while they were out. They were out shopping in Kingston. I packed my bag while they were out and I left. I left in such a hurry. I left my SIM in his phone. I knew he knew I would have seen it. It was just a gut feeling. I don't know if I don't know what would have happened when he unlocked his phone. I can't even remember on those phones if you even could unlock it, but I didn't leave it. I don't remember if it got left on the screen or not, but either way, I knew he's gonna know. I left and my stepmom messaged me on Facebook because that was like the big social media thing. She messaged me on Facebook and was like, oh, why did you leave so abruptly? You didn't even say goodbye. You've left your SIM here. I was just like, keep it. Just keep it. I'm sorry, I left. My friend had an emergency. I didn't want to tell her. I didn't feel like it was my responsibility. Like, I couldn't do it. Because as well, my dad is a piece of shit. Like, I've known it for 28 years. He's a piece of shit. But he was unemployed. He's still unemployed. He's unemployed. He had nowhere to live. Like, if she kicked him out, he'd be fucked. He'd be in a hostel. a B&B, he'd be homeless. I was like, I can't make my dad homeless no matter what he's doing. I then didn't hear from him for months. Like, I thought, I can't reach out to him first after this. I don't want to reach out to him first. I'm traumatized. He didn't reach out to me either. And when I say months, I actually mean it must have been over a year, because the next time I heard from him was when I was living with Cruella D'Allison. Cruella D'Allison was my third foster carer. I went into foster care in December 2010. I was living with this woman in April 2011. He called me drunk and was like, why don't you bother with me? You're a terrible daughter. I was the only daughter. He has 3 kids. I was the only one that was still talking to him. He said I was terrible for not reaching out to him. And I was like, well, it works both ways. And I don't actually have credit on my phone. I don't have a phone contract. Like, when you're in care, you don't get a phone contract. So he called me and was like, you never contact me. You're a bad daughter. And I was like, who are you calling a bad daughter? You fucking dickhead having an affair. It came out.